Hello everyone. The study I am going to introduce is about the effects of audiovisual media on L2 listening comprehension by Becker and Sturm. This study aimed to investigate the potential effects of audiovisual media on second language learners' listening comprehension skills in French. First of all, listening comprehension involves listening, which is the ability to break speech into its component parts, to understand these as they relate to one another, and to infer meaning based on context and background knowledge. In listening, bottom-up strategies tend to cause listeners to get caught up in trouble spots, missing the important input, while the top-down processing lets the listeners embrace ambiguity by concentrating on the overall meaning and developing metacognitive strategies. So, audiovisual materials can provide both verbal and nonverbal cues to the meaning of the input, giving learners the contextual support necessary to engage in top-down processing. With this, the purpose of this study is to explore the ability of audiovisual aids to increase listening performance in an instructed L2 French context. To achieve this purpose, the following research question was raised. Do native English-speaking foreign language learners of French develop listening comprehension skills at a more advanced rate when exposed to audiovisual media-based activities when compared to a control group of learners who were exposed solely to communicative methods of foreign language teaching without audiovisual materials. Their hypothesis was that the experimental group would outperform the control group on listening comprehension tests following a 4-week experimental instruction period. The methodological design of the study has 3 steps. On the first day of the study, the participants completed the pre-test of listening comprehension together with their linguistical background questionnaire. On the following 4 weeks, which is the learning or treatment phase, the experimental group completed daily listening activities using audiovisual media, while the control group practiced listening skills in more traditional, instructor-centered ways. On the final day, both groups completed the immediate post-test of listening comprehension, and 1 week later from that point, there was a delayed listening post-test. The results suggested, or the researchers derived the following results from the experiment. The mean scores of the pretest of listening comprehension revealed that the participants in the 2 groups were of approximately equal listening ability. At the end of the 4-week learning period, average score of the experimental group on the post-test exceeded that of the control group by 14.18%. The experimental group's scores are more closely clustered around the median, and the median is higher than that of the control group. Lastly, 1 week after the initial post-test, the experimental group continued to outperform the control group in the delayed post-test, albeit by a smaller margin at 8.19%. The results suggest that there was an observable trend in the improved listening ability for the experimental group, following the instructional period suggests that the treatment helped the experimental group to improve their listening comprehension skills over the course of the instructional phase. Also, consistently higher performance in the delayed process suggests that the experimental group maintained an advantage over the control group. Through the interactive audiovisual media-based activities that were performed during the learning phase of the study, the participants developed strategies for preparing themselves to hear authentic language, activating schemata to understand the language they hear, and applying that newfound knowledge to spontaneous production of the L2. The advantage of this study lies in its ecological validity and in its positive results supporting the use of audiovisual media in the L2 classroom. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want more information, please search the reference I'm showing you right now and read their journal.